Hello and welcome to the Excel Emergency Room, Shortcuts Edition. The Excel Emergency Room is a series of short, highly tactical videos designed to help you learn one skill in a short period of time. In this edition, you'll learn how to save a ton of time by utilizing keyboard shortcuts. We'll start out with the very basics that even the most novice user will know, and quickly ramp up as we go through an exercise to use keyboard shortcuts to duplicate a formula across a wide range of cells. The main objective of this video is to get you started with keyboard shortcuts, as you'll be able to become more self-directed after you conquer the fundamentals. When working in Excel, you want to limit to an absolute minimum the use of the mouse. It may not seem like it, but using the mouse slows you down. Let's start off with the arrow keys. The arrow keys are crucial in Excel, and they perform as you might expect. The up arrow takes you up a cell, the down arrow takes you down a cell, and the right and left arrows take you to the right and to the left. Simple, right? So now let's add another key into the mix, Shift. The Shift key, when used together with the arrow keys, highlights the cells. Shift and up highlights the cells above. Shift and left highlights the cells to the left. Shift and down highlights the cells below. If you move first to the left and then move down, you can highlight a rather large chunk of cells. Again, pretty simple. Now let's turn it up a little bit with the use of the Control key and the arrow keys. The Control key helps you travel large ranges of cells in very little time. The distance that you travel is based on which cell you're in right now, the state of that cell, and the state of the surrounding cells. The general theme is that if you're inside a continuous range of cells, Control plus arrows will take you to the edge of that range. If you're on the edge of the range or in blank space, Control and arrows will jump to the edge of the next range. Let's run through some examples to illustrate the point. Within this continuous group of cells, you can see that the cursor jumps to the edge of the cells in the direction of the arrow that I push. For example, if I'm here in C7 and I hold Control and press down, it'll jump all the way to the edge. Also, if I'm here in C26 and I want to go Control to the left, it'll jump to the edge, just like here, and here, and here, and here, and here, jumping around the edges of the group. However, if I'm here in open space, it will take me to the first filled in cell to the left. So if I go Control and to the left, it will take me to the first filled in cell. Here, if I go Control and to the right, seeing as how I'm on the right edge of the cells, it will take me all the way to the right side of the spreadsheet because there are no filled cells in between. So if I go Control and left, I'll go back to the edge. And as you might imagine, if I go Control and up, it'll jump to the filled in F13. Now if I go Control and up here, where will it go? It will cross all of that empty space and go onto the next filled in cell up in F5. So Control up arrow, as you see here, will go to F5, and Control left arrow, where will that go? That will jump to C5. Then if we want to go all the way down to C26, Control down arrow jumps that way. Now we're going to combine these keys that we saw, the arrow keys, the Shift key, and the Control keys, and we're going to create something even more powerful than Control and the arrow keys by themselves. Let's say we want to calculate the margin for each product that you see listed. We'll use the sales and cost figures to calculate a percentage margin, being sure to use the arrow keys as we fill in the formula to specify which cells we want to use rather than using the mouse. So now we have one cell that calculates the margin. But how can we use the power of Excel formulas to duplicate that cell's calculation for all of the products? Many of you might drag the corner of this formula down. And that works, but it's very slow if you have multiple cells. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to do this with keyboard shortcuts. In order to fill in column D, we'll also need two more shortcuts, which I imagine most of you know, copy and paste, which uses Control C and Control V. So here we'll copy, and you can see that we've had success by the dotted lines. So we use Control C to copy, left arrow, Control down arrow, right arrow, and now what are we going to do? We want to highlight everything between D26 and D2, so we're going to go Control, Shift, up arrow. And then now that we've highlighted the rest of this column, we can go Control V and fill in the margin formula. From there, we can jump down to the bottom of the product list. Here we can use the Control, Shift, arrow combination again, this time holding Shift to back off that one cell when we go with sales, and calculate the total. Similarly, we can copy, use our arrow key, and paste, and then we can copy and paste the margin formula. We've done some calculation shortcuts. Now let's say we want to put some shading up into those labels at the top and put a box around that section as well. So let's show you how to do that using the wonder of the Alt key. So here we jumped up using Control and the up arrow. Then we're going to go Control Shift left arrow to highlight everything. So now we're going to change the background color of these cells. How would you normally do this with the mouse? You'd go to your Home tab, then you go over here, and you'd find the background color that you want to apply, correct? Great. Well, let's do that with the keyboard. So if we hit the Alt key once, you can see these tiles that show up. And you see the H tile is on the Home tab, just like the N tile is on the Insert tab and the P tile is on the Page Layout tab. What we want to do is we want to stay on the Home tab, so we'll hit H. And then by coincidence, the paint bucket to fill in the background of the cells is also H. So we'll hit H again, and then we'll go and we'll use our arrow keys to find the gray that we want. Here we can hit Enter, and we've applied the color that we wanted to our labels. Now let's say that we want to apply a border. What are we going to do? Control Shift to the right. So we'll highlight those. Alt, Home, then B for border, as you can see. Then we want to apply a thick border, so you can either use your arrow keys or you can just hit T, and there you see that we have a border that we've applied. The Alt key can show you how to do anything, even very uncommon operations, and can save you time from reaching for that mouse. We can continue to play with the formatting here to make everything more aesthetically agreeable, but let's move on. Another shortcut that you use a great deal is the shortcut to move between tabs, which is to hold Control and then to hit either page up or page down. So as you can see, I can hold Control, hit page down, and move tabs. Then I can hit page up, move back, page down, move again. So on the second tab, you can see that we have a much larger data set. But if I move over to where I can travel down the row and I hit Control and down arrow, I can move all the way down and all the way up very, very quickly. It's really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the margin formula here just to get a sense of how fast we can move. So I want to grab the margin formula from over on the smaller tab. So I'll go Control Page Up. I'll grab that margin formula by hitting Control C, Control Page Down, Control V to paste. Then I'll Control C to copy, go over one with my left arrow, Control down arrow, right arrow over. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to hit Control Shift up arrow and then paste. And as you can see, all the way down here, I've filled in my formulas. I'm over in row 3755 and all the way up here as well. So that's fantastic. And just to review, let's put a border around our labels. So that's Alt, you can let go of the Alt key, H, B for border, T for thick box border, and then let's add a little bit of shading, Alt, H, H. Then we'll use our down arrow and we'll select that gray. Let's say we wanted to make the text red just for fun, Alt, H. Then you can see FC will get you the text color, and then we'll move over into this red here. Enter. That's wonderful. And with that, you have your start and keyboard shortcuts. I really recommend that you dedicate yourself to learning these, and though it will be a little painful at first, a little awkward, you can make a ton of progress if you stick with it for just a couple days, and soon they'll be in your muscle memory, and you'll be cruising along in no time. Thanks for joining me for this session of Excel Emergency Room, and stay tuned for many more episodes to come. Feel free to download the exercise that we worked on so that you can practice and follow along with the video if you want to watch again. And if you had trouble understanding why the formula shifted when we copied and pasted and were able to duplicate all the way down, have no fear, we'll cover that and even more in the next Excel Emergency Room. Thanks again, and happy excelling.